Business Minds, pioneering and inspiring entrepreneurs. Creative talks, CEO insights, success stories, value markets, and financial education. This is the CEO Show. Hosted by Dan. Business Minds, pioneering and inspiring entrepreneurs. Creative talks, CEO insights, success stories, value markets, and financial education. This is the CEO Show. Hosted by Dan. Business Minds, pioneering and inspiring entrepreneurs. Creative talks, CEO insights, success stories, value markets, and financial education. This is the CEO Show. Hosted by Dan. Business Minds, pioneering and inspiring entrepreneurs. Creative talks, CEO insights, success stories, value markets, and financial education. This is the CEO Show. Hosted by Dan. Business Minds, pioneering and inspiring entrepreneurs. Creative talks, CEO insights, success stories, value markets, and financial education. This is the CEO Show. Hosted by Dan. Business Minds, pioneering and inspiring entrepreneurs. Creative talks, CEO insights, success stories, value markets, and financial education. This is the CEO Show. Hosted by Dan. Business Minds, pioneering and inspiring entrepreneurs. Creative talks, CEO insights, success stories, value markets, and financial education. This is the CEO Show. Hosted by Dan. Business Minds, pioneering and inspiring entrepreneurs. Creative talks, CEO insights, success stories, value markets, and financial education. This is the CEO Show. Hosted by Dan. Business Minds, pioneering and inspiring entrepreneurs. Creative talks, CEO insights, success stories, value market.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, welcome to the CEO Show. Remember, this is a show that always comes to you every Tuesday from 7:30 to 9. This is a show that always looks forward to bring you amazing and great entrepreneurs and also business people in different professions. People are going to share their experience, talk of management, and also how they run whatever they do. And this is a show that it always ensures that it brings you content that is going to be very inspirational, very insightful, and very educational. Remember, I am your host, Dan. Tonight we have one amazing guest for you, prepared another amazing show for you. A guest who is going to talk about today about management. And which sector are we tonight in? We are talking about the healthcare sector. This is a sector that I believe we have rarely talked about, we've rarely shared, but this is a show that you can't afford to miss. These are guests that have a vast experience in running an hospital and that is in the health sector. Who is our guest tonight? Our guest tonight is none other but Mr. Nixon Rono, who is the CEO and also the person running and also being in the limelight and also on the lead of which hospital? Hope Matters International. And tonight he's going to talk about his experience in running such an amazing hospital in Kipkaren in Eldoret. That is Uasin Gishu. Please ensure that you sit back. And also, if you have a question to our guest tonight about the health sector and also anything to do with healthcare, please ensure that you drop on the comment section for us to know that you're part of this conversation. And please ensure that you share this podcast for somebody to know that you're watching. Remember that we are coming to you live on Facebook. Also, we are live on YouTube. And not forgetting, we are live on TikTok. Remember to comment and tell us where you're watching from, for us to know that you're watching and also you're part of this conversation. This is the 23rd episode. And also we are very grateful for the support that you've always given us. For the fact that we've come, it's not because of us, but it is because of you. And let's keep the ball rolling. Mr. Nixon, welcome to the show.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. It's been a wonderful experience, and also waiting to see you in this show. People have been texting.
I'm happy to be here today.
Okay.
Yes.
Who is now? Tell us about who is Nixon Rono. People have been hearing about Nixon Rono, and now behind being the CEO of Hope Matters International. Tell us your journey now. Where were you born? Where did you grow?
My name is Nixon Rono.
Yes.
Married. Of course, that's a very important thing to confirm.
Okay, that's a good one.
Yes, with kids. I grew up in Nandi County.
Okay.
In a village called Captel. So I started my primary life in school. Then I went to Kapsamet Boys High School.
Okay.
Some people say we are biased, but we have to talk about that school.
Yeah, because anybody from Kapsabet has to mention that I come from
you have
Kapsabet
to mention that.
Okay,
So I went to Kapsabet Boys High School. Thereafter I joined Kenyatta University for a bachelor's in health systems management. That's to do with hospital administration and management.
Okay.
And currently I'm working on my master's in business administration.
Okay.
That's in brief of my education life.
Okay. Now growing up, because it's also people, whenever you're in hospital and people talk about passion, people talk about when I grow up I want to be so and so. Did you think that you could be working in an hospital in the near future when you were young? What was your passion growing up? What was mtu angekuuliza what do you want to become? What was the answer?
For me, I think I was working towards that line. For me, I wanted to be a doctor. That's why I used to read books like Ben Carson's books, Think Big, Gifted Hands. I really wanted to be a doctor.
Okay.
But on the way, things changed. So that's why I found myself. And even in my primary, I think I was the prefect, healthcare and sanitation prefect. So I wanted that position to practice what I'm going to be in the future.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've always I wanted to be a doctor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where now did you change now from being a doctor?
I think my grade
in
high school.
Okay.
So I ended up going for the hospital and the health systems management, which was a new course then. It was very new. In fact, currently so many doctors are rushing to do a managerial course. That's the same course I did for my bachelor's.
Okay.
Yeah.
But now, how did you take that risk, being the new course in town? Because it seems you didn't know, you had no inspiration from anybody. Because sometimes we choose courses because so and so did the same course and he became successful. But that was a new course and you chose to take the risk. What inspired you?
So I go to campus, and then I was debating whether to change to health records or something that is known to so many people. I remember my classmates. Some even dropped. Some on the way, you get discouraged. People tell you how you cannot come from campus and you want to be a manager. Like directly from campus and want to be a manager. It's not possible. So again on the way, we are told it's not even registered. But those were just stories because so for a new thing in any sector, people tend to have so many theories.
Okay.
But I ended up liking the course. I really liked. Even during my attachments, I did at Kapsabet level 5. We visited so many hospitals.
Okay.
So it's a very nice cause for someone who wants to be a manager in an hospital because it covers all the sections of the hospital, procurement, even the mortuary,
Okay.
pharmacy. Yeah.
Okay. Now, immediately after graduating, were you employed immediately, or how was the experience now after graduating?
It was a really tough one
Yeah.
because
Because people talk about tamaking. Did you ever tamak?
yeah, kidogo.
Okay.
After campus, I was ready to work anywhere. So I got my first job. I worked in a pharmaceutical company in Nairobi along Fangano Street for around 2 months, being paid around 9,000.
That was your first pay?
Yes,
Okay.
around 9,000.
And you are a young person.
Yes, but now I had someone, by then, my 4th year, I had my firstborn, so I had a responsibility then.
Okay, so you graduated with 2 degrees.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. So I was really struggling to get something so that I would
You
sustain my
provide
family.
for the young family.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
So I went there, did for 2 months. Then as I was working in the pharmaceutical company, a friend of mine connected me to someone who wanted a rider, a delivery guy in Nairobi, River Road.
Okay.
So I went for the interview. And remember in Nairobi, I'm used to using matatus only. I don't know the routes to use with the motorbike. But my experience
But by
from
then you knew how to ride a motorbike.
ile tu mko village unaombanga mtu bike unaambia najua.
Okay, okay.
That's what I knew. But being in a driving school to ride, nothing like that. So
Okay. So you went for this
I
interview,
went for the interview.
to become a rider.
Yes.
Okay.
And I did the interview. Then the person, the CEO of the company, gave me someone to just go for a road test to confirm if I can ride. So we took the bike. Now in Nairobi, you know, it's a very big town, so you might not know which route to use. Maybe you're going against traffic, and you can get arrested. So I got this guy. Then I told him, to be honest, I've been riding in the village and not in Nairobi. So be fair enough,
That is
but
now
I'm a quick
Kaptel
learner.
village.
Kaptel now.
Okay.
Kaptel to Nairobi. So this guy was very understanding, and I told him I'm very ready to learn. So we went
But
for
now,
the
Nixon,
test.
I'm so curious. Now you're working in a pharmaceuticals shop that's a pharmacy. That is related now, probably related to what you had studied in school in one or another. But now you're now moving out of pharmaceutical and now you're going to be a rider. What is it that pushed you to that extent?
Of course, money.
Okay.
Yes, I was having a family and I needed to sustain my family.
Okay.
So this was, they had a better offer compared to
what you are earning.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then finally you got the job.
Yes, I got a job, and I was asked to report the next day by 8. So there's a guy, I really thank him because that time, the next day now, by 8 I was at the workplace. Then deliveries came. You have to deliver to so many companies covering Nairobi, Westlands, industrial area to Kitengela or Karirana in a very huge area.
Okay.
So without, if you don't have a knowledge of where you're going, even if you use the Google Maps at times, it was a tricky thing. So I got someone who was a bodaboda rider. He came from Kaptel. Then I used to call him, tell him, bro, nimetumwa mahali, kuja uniokole. Then he used to come and escort me. But within I think a week, I had gotten to understand the traffic of Nairobi.
Okay.
But I remember I was arrested around 2 times by the Kanjos, using pavement, riding. But I made sure.
But at that time, you are now excited having a new pay, a new job.
Yes, and no, the problem is now you are a rider and you wanted to be a manager in an hospital.
Those are two different worlds.
Yes.
Okay.
So the first time I was arrested, and I accepted, and I according to me, I decided to, every mistake I make, I have to be a friend to that person, maybe a police officer or anyone.
So he becomes your friend. You
yes.
make a new
So
network.
the first arrest opened so many things to, like, made my life in Nairobi easier then, because the first person who arrested me, I told him, now, yes, tumemaliza, but as nipe namba yako, next time I get arrested, you are now
You'll come to
my
my
cousin.
rescue.
I'll call you, then you help me, because Nairobi is common.
It's
You
true.
get arrested anytime. So that's how I used to operate.
Okay.
I would call him anytime I have any problem, he comes to my rescue. So I worked for that company. It was an electrics. We used to sell electricals,
Okay.
like the TVs or sockets, such things, and would supply even to hospitals. After some time, I got a chance to, through someone again, to work with Bliss.
Okay, before now you go to Bliss, now you're working as a rider. Do you think there are some lessons that came with it? Because we have a generation that people have graduated, and some even say that I can't do such a job because I have papers. That's what we say. And especially most young people will always say that until I get employed on a better job, sometimes they get better, some average offers, and they think they shun away from the same because they quote unquote say that it is a shameful kind of job, because that is, if you had connected, assuming you met with your colleagues who you studied together in campus, if you had gone with the tag of it's a shameful job. But do you think there are some lessons that came with this, you being a rider?
Yeah, I really appreciate that company. It gave me, it widened my mind. And for me, I was ready to work anywhere after campus. I think there was one, I worked for a day. That was even very hard to, because it was a company where you sell and paid on commission, but now you are selling utensils. I come to your office. I remember the first, I was invited for an interview, and I bought tie, and I wanted to look good.
Presentable.
But now when I go to the interview, I'm told you're supposed to be selling vijiko na kisu na sufuria, and you were paid on commission. So I worked for a day. So for me, I was ready to work anywhere.
So like you got appointed in the morning and then you resigned in the evening?
Yes, because it was very hard. I walked from one building to another, from UN to TUK to all the offices around Nairobi, in Nairobi town.
Okay.
And now I was working with someone who was to mentor me into that job, and just understand how to work.
Okay.
But no, I saw it. It was very hard.
And somebody said in sales that you knock 10 doors and you get 10 no's.
Yeah, of course, it was possible. You get no's.
Okay. Now after working with the riding company, now you get an opportunity to work with Bliss.
Yeah, so I finally got a job with Bliss and posted to Kakamega.
Okay.
So I was covering Kakamega, Bale.
Now what are you dealing with?
I was in marketing.
Okay.
So in healthcare, there are marketers. Of course, you have to market your services, so for people to know. Even the insurances you bring on board, they have to be marketed for people to know.
That's true.
So I worked in Kakamega, covering Kakamega, Mbale, Busia, and Webuye. So I had 4 clinics.
Okay.
So and the same experience I had in Nairobi. I bought my first bike now. Yes.
So now you the experience in riding had helped you now. In
Yes.
this sense.
I got my own bike, and I would come home over the weekend using the same bike, and even going to the same clinics from Mbale to Kakamega, Webuye, and Busia. I would use my bike to just go around.
Okay.
So I think life now became somehow better. But I left my family in Nairobi. So I worked for around 1.5 years.
Hope you are not riding now to Nairobi.
I don't know.
Your bike. Okay, so you worked for Bliss for how long?
Around 1.5 years.
Okay.
Yes. Then after Bliss, went back to Nairobi. He worked with Medihill, Parklands, in the same capacity marketing or business development. Sikukaa sana hapo, nikaenda ingine inaitwa Meditest, Westlands. Nikafanya kidogo, and I'm very hardworking because in those companies, I think I made impact.
Okay.
I made an impact. I remember for Meditest, I used to go to as far as Masai Mara. At that time of COVID, you
That is now
get
under
these
business
companies.
development.
Yes, as business development. You get new deals like for business for the hospitals. Like for now, the Meditest, I went to Masai Mara to get all the hospitals, the hotels in Masai Mara, so that we would take samples and flew to Nairobi for testing.
Okay.
During that time of COVID.
COVID.
After now Meditest, I transitioned to administration and went to Machakos town. It's now an hospital admin.
Okay.
Yes.
So like you moving all this, you can say that it was a vertical kind of trend from one level to another, and you seemed like a very ambitious young man back then, and other than now the salary factor and looking at now money, because that is always a factor that is considered mostly. But what is it that motivated you to work hard across along the way?
For me, the first thing, apart from the financial part, like being the sustainability of the family, I knew at some point, especially when I go to marketing in the healthcare sector, I knew I'll be heading somewhere to be an admin of an hospital and maybe the CEO. So that was my dream, that at least I'm in healthcare. And I used to apply so many jobs, especially for administration. I remember attending an interview in Naivasha, and those people who came for the interview had unakumbuka CV ya magoha ile kubwa and na wewe umekuja na an envelope.
Okay.
So
but full of experience.
Yeah, for me I didn't have that experience.
Okay.
But now you could see those people. In fact, you would attend some interviews and you get intimidated because you know nothing about administration.
Okay.
You have been in marketing. But for me, joining Machakos, I think the board wanted someone who knew more about marketing, because it was at level 4 hospital and new in town, a specialist hospital, and they wanted someone who knows how to market the hospital, not just sit in the office and wait for clients.
Okay.
So that's why I was taken to Machakos the Machakos hospital.
Okay.
And then now I join where I am.
Okay. Now, before you go to where you click, let me just, ladies and gentlemen, remember this is the CEO show, and tonight our guest is none other but Mr. Nixon Rono, who is the CEO of Hope Matters International, and he's just getting started. He has shared about his journey to where he is, and it's very important for you to tell us where you're watching from. And also, please, if you have a question for tonight's guest on healthcare and health sector, please don't hesitate to ask. And just to appreciate a few people who are watching, we have Koech Isaac who is watching, we have Walter who is watching, also we have Philo who is watching, Eddie is watching, Koima Moses all the way from United States is watching, and also we have a comment here from Liz Rock Casio is saying, good job bro, and please many others, make sure that you comment and tell us where you're watching from, and also if you're part of this conversation, and please don't forget to share this particular conversation for somebody to benefit with this very important information, and it's going to be very beneficial. Now, Nixon, all the way now from Machakos now to Hope Matters International. How was the transition? Now you're an administrator there. You worked for how long at Machakos?
Sikukaa sana.
Okay.
I think around 6 months.
Okay.
Yes.
You're very mobile. Okay.
But now I'm
settled.
mobile now.
Okay.
Settled.
Hope you're home where you wished to be. Now,
Yes,
how did it come about now to find yourself at Hope Matter International?
At the hospital I worked in Machakos, I used to interact so many times with this insurance, the corporate insurances. Like you make calls, following up on payments or claims and or approvals. So there's this guy who was working with an insurance company. I used to follow up so many issues with clients.
Okay.
But we ended up starting to talk in Kalenjin.
Okay.
And we had even never met. Yes. Every time we just talk in Kalenjin. Then after some time, I got a call from him telling me that there's an hospital in Wasingishu and they're looking for an admin.
Okay.
Then I took it lightly. Then I had an assistant admin, a lady. Then I told her there's a chance in Wasingishu County. Would you consider moving to Wasingishu? She said no. She was not ready to move from Machakos to
That was now your
Wasingishu.
deputy.
Yes, my deputy.
Your assistant.
Yes.
Okay.
And then for me, I think I was comfortable.
Okay. Where you are.
Yes.
Okay.
So this guy kept on calling. Hujapata mtu? I told him, maybe you can tell me more about this hospital and maybe the job.
At that time, your family was in Nairobi?
We were in Machakos.
All of you in
Yes,
Machakos? Okay,
we were
okay.
in Machakos. So this guy, then he gave me a brief history of the hospital. Then he told me, I'm giving out your number. Just share the CV. Then I shared with him. I was not that
reluctantly?
serious. Yeah, I was just reluctant. Then I got a call from one of the directors telling me, we'll interview, we'll have an online interview. Then after some few days again, the director told me they got someone.
Okay.
Yes, and then I told him it's okay. Maybe I'll try next time. After 2 weeks, I got a call from the same director asking me if I can, we can have an online interview because the first one, it didn't happen. I think they did one. I don't know what happened. So this one now, they were asking me to do an online. Then I accepted. We did the interview, of course, with the founder. The founder is from the US. And after the first online interview, they called me for a physical one in Kipkaren. Then I had to travel all the way from Machakos. We did the interview. Then now they gave me the offer.
Okay.
And I had
for what position now? The same administrator?
The admin.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
the admin
Okay.
job.
Okay.
Yeah. So after some time being the admin, doing all the operations of the hospital, because for them they were busy in at times being in the US and they are not in Kenya.
Okay.
So I'm the only one who is around.
Okay.
So
now give us the picture when you came in as the administrator. What was the capacity of the hospital and what were the services that were being offered?
Okay. It was still new with very minimal services. If I remember, we didn't even have theater. The eye unit, even radiology was not working. The mortuary was not working. So those are the few projects when I came in, I made sure.
You introduced them?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Even the insurances like NHIF now, the SHA,
okay.
MKL for teachers and police.
Okay.
Yeah, they were not there.
Now, on the flip side, now where the situation that it is.
It was a level 3B.
Yeah, now it is a level 4.
Now it's a level 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, to where you are, it's now 2 years you working in the same hospital, and then you came in as an administrator. Now you are the CEO. Where do you give credit to deserve that position?
Of course, the departments I've just told you about. There are so many things that happened that have happened for the last 2 years, especially after me being in that hospital.
Okay.
From having patients of maybe 5 outpatient to maybe 100 per day. So there are so many departments I introduced, and even mobilization or sensitization of the public on what we offer. We now became more active in marketing and even the social media marketing.
Okay.
We got known by so many people.
Okay.
After we opened the theater, we now got so many cases. And in all this, I am the one coordinating all the activities.
Okay.
Marketing, the HR issues, and like everything. You need operations, you are everywhere. So now I'm the board, so I need to have me as the CEO.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, running such an where the directors are not in the country most of the times, and it seems there is a lot of trust, goodwill that you have, because as a person, we know that the board exists, but now running
So,
in your capacity and
right now
making critical
we
decisions,
have a Kenyan board and a board based in the US.
Okay.
So I report to the board in Kenya,
Okay.
and there's the board in the US. So I also report to them. Yeah, once in a while, we have meetings with the chairperson of the US board and even the Kenyan board, or both combined.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what do you think is now the selling point of Hope International?
So let me explain about
International.
Hope.
Yeah.
There's Hope Matters International,
Yeah.
and there's Village of Hope Hospital.
Oh, they are two different things.
So no, it's one. Hope Matters International is the mother company.
Okay.
Yeah, this is based in the US, California.
Okay.
But now the hospital is now, the hospital is one of the projects maybe it's running in Africa or Kenya. Hope, in the Village of Hope Hospital.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So Hope Matters International is the NGO, the mother company or organization, and a faith-based one.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now the village.
Now there's the Village of Hope Hospital.
Okay.
Yes.
That is now what you run.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now.
But now it's under Hope Matters International.
Yeah.
In fact, what is registered is Hope Matters International.
Okay.
Yes, Village of Hope is, I think the founder saw it to fit to use it village because it's in the village.
It's in the village.
Yes.
That is okay. Now, what do you think is now the selling point of Village of Hope? Because I've seen it's taken a very short time and it has grown to where it is currently. What do you think is now the selling point? What is more lucrative compared to other hospitals around?
Yeah, in that region, we are in 3 counties, bordering 3 counties. That's Uasin Gishu, Kakamega, and Nandi. And I think it's the only some private hospital in the village.
Okay.
So we get so many referrals from the public. There's challenges, as you all know, with the public hospitals at times. So we get most of, especially when the strike was there, we got so many deliveries, referrals from the private hospitals. But what I'm very proud of is the radiology department and the eye unit. Radiology, we got an X-ray machine, which is one of its kind. It's never in any other country in Africa. It's only Village of Hope Hospital.
Okay.
From Canada, we got it from a team from Canada, KA Imaging Corporation in Canada, where the founders and the developers came all the way to Kenya, to Village of Hope to install the machine.
Okay.
And it's a portable one. It normal X-ray gives one picture, like with the flesh and the bones at once. But this one, a shot gives you 3 images. One flesh alone, and the bone, and now the normal picture.
Okay.
Yeah, your
Indeed,
image.
it's one of a kind.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk now about management, about running the day-to-day running, because we've seen a number of hospitals have come up and some have closed down, some have even compromised their services, and some, in fact, are on the downsizing and what have you. But what do you think are some of the critical areas when it comes to management of such an hospital, especially village?
So running an hospital is not it's not very easy because so many hospitals rely on the insurances for because nowadays people don't use cash. Getting cash clients is not that common. So people are going into these insurance companies, and the challenge at times is the delay in remittance or payment. So so many hospitals right now are in a dilemma about the share because some of them majorly relied on NHIF.
Okay.
So there are chances that some hospitals might lay off employees because of that, because they are not sure if this share will work or not. Yeah, they are still in dilemma. So many hospitals or maybe owners of these facilities take huge loans expecting maybe returns. And at times it doesn't work out.
Okay.
So you end up laying off or even closing because auctioneers can come in. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, as you are running this, what as a person, what do you think is your management kind of design? Because on the position that you are in, there are critical aspects of management that you put in. But as a person, what do you think is your strength as a manager?
I believe in teamwork. You can be a manager, but for me, I always involve the rest in my team at the facility. Apart from having the med soup, who helps in running the clinical part and the HR, I always want to involve those even the juniors in decision making.
Okay.
Because even in terms of acquiring an equipment, you may decide as management that we need this machine for this department, yet you have not involved the user, because you have to sit down with the same users and discuss the expectations of in getting a machine, or even what we get in return from the same machines. So involving everyone is a key thing in terms of decision making. You have to get the views of the rest. But some managers, you just as an employee, unafika kazi asubuhi, you get a new machine, unaambiwa tumia hiyo. The next day you get one. So you end up not even using, or even getting obsolete because you are not trained on. You didn't expect maybe such a machine, and you end up making losses.
You are not part of the change.
Yes. But if you involve them in every decision you want to make, and maybe explain to them why you are thinking of having something versus having another thing, is a very important thing. Yeah.
Okay. Now, we've talked about employees and what have you. Now, it comes to staffing. What do you think? Do you think you encounter a lot of challenges when it comes to staffing? Because a lot of private hospitals, sometimes we have a challenge in terms of turnover and staff turnover, in terms of some even get lucrative offers. Today you have a very good radiographer, the next day is not there. But how do you mitigate such a challenge? And what do you think are some of the challenges that we have currently when it comes to staffing?
I've seen experience from some other hospitals of employees who have been working for over 20 years. And personally, I want to be there one day, that you can have an employee working even for 20 or till retirement. So I know in our case, we don't have that capacity to fully give the best remuneration for an employee. But I think we're heading there. But one of the main challenges is the pay. In the economic times, they change. And even landlord anaongeza rent, then the salaries is still the same for 5 or 10 years. So I think those are the areas people move. That's why the reason for the high turnover rates, because people want more money.
Okay.
They want to change maybe their life, because you cannot stagnate for 5 or 10 years. But I think we're heading there.
Okay.
I can really advocate for good pay. I went to a certain hospital, maybe I'll not mention the name, but a good number of employees have been there for over 10 years. And the founder, who rested some years back, used to prioritize employees, that you need to be paid. I think they are paying the minimum they are paying a nurse is 50,000, which is a good money for a starter, a nurse, of which some hospitals
at entry level.
Yes, some hospitals even don't pay half of that amount. So you end up getting employees who will work and they are really faithful to that organization. But my prayer is in future we be there when we stabilize and get financials right.
Okay. Yeah. Now, with regard also to management, it's something that also I would not miss to ask, because sometimes you find that, especially this is an organization that is being run by the founders are not Kenyan, for that matter, and sometimes we think as a country we always have outside directors and outside founders always have an issue with us as Kenyans running the institutions, and sometimes because of mismanagement, because of corruption, and also untrustworthy. And because the other day when Safaricom was handed over to an African, people always speculated that we are going to experience challenges. Do you think we don't, as Kenyans, we don't believe in our own?
I think it's on the books and it's everywhere that so many companies are mismanaged, especially by us, the locals. It happens that greed comes in. You want to pick each and every amount you see hanging around instead of helping the organization move on. You want just to get money from the organization. But now the big thing is trust. I know where I am, it has been trust. Yes, trust and integrity is the best you can do to any company. Yes.
Okay.
So, and what I've seen in even our donors, the heart of giving, and we still have a challenge, especially for us Africans. Those people sacrifice. You have seen so many NGOs, even the USAID, Hampad, such companies, such NGOs being supported by people not from maybe Africa or Kenya, because of their heart of giving. And even today morning, I discussed with someone. I think we need to inculcate. That's why those people are really far away from us, because I think it's because of the heart, that heart of giving. You get blessings, because even in the Bible. Yes.
Okay. Do you think we have an issue with our virtues in terms of honesty, and also
Yes,
do you think
yes.
we fail to have patience? Because everywhere, what affects mostly is about corruption. Like, instead of helping the society and helping the clientele that is given to you, we have quick money kind of syndrome. You want to make quick money, you want to make, it should be about you, the interest is about you. Do you think it's something that affects us as a
Now,
as a nation
if you look
some
at
point?
even some government entities, why do you think some new technologies come in and there's resistance? Because it closes some loopholes, which people might not want to go that direction. A manager would want jioni analetewa kitu, because if you have a very structured system, there would be no such loopholes. But now it's for Africans, mostly it applies to us, because you want to have more money than the rest. You want to earn something not worth earning, because of the systems. You develop a system where it would give you a loophole to maybe steal.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, most hospitals will always have a challenge of, and that is a critical challenge that most of the hospitals have, the issue of healthcare systems. That is healthcare information systems and also management systems. And that's something that you studied back in campus at some point. It's part of definitely what you studied. And we need to get details of the same, and how important it is to invest in a good healthcare or hospital management system. But before we go into it, I think, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a very short break, and then, because our time is much moving, but we are halfway of this conversation, but we're going to take a very short break. Then we come back and continue this conversation, and also to respond to some of your questions that you're asking. But please keep your questions coming, so that immediately after this break, we'll be in a position to read out your questions, and also your comments that they are still coming on. But immediately after this break, we will keep the conversation going. Remember, this is the CEO show, and our guest tonight is Mr. Nixon Rono, who is the CEO of Hope Matters International. We'll be back after this particular break.
Till now, Village of Hope Hospital started as a clinic, and it's now a big hospital, a level 4 hospital, and we thank God for each and every opportunity to serve the community. As Village of Hope Hospital, we serve 3 counties. Village of Hope Hospital borders Kakamega County, Uasin Gishu County, and Nandi County, but basically in Uasin Gishu County, but the farthest end of Uasin Gishu County. So we serve a huge area in terms of counties, the farthest end of Kakamega County, Nandi County, and Uasin Gishu County. Okay. A few years ago, we attended to a very minimal number of this population of Karen. Our outpatient department was seeing about a maximum of 5 patients, but nowadays we see up to even 100 a day. To see the village of Hope Hospital serving a good number of population. Currently in Kenya, or even around the world, healthcare is very expensive, and so we aspire to give a very affordable healthcare to everyone that everyone can afford. And maybe in the next few years, we might see ourselves being level 5. That's a level that means a lot of expertise and human resource for health, and even the equipment. So it means we'll cover a wide area of this population. So it means in terms of our capacity to give medication to a wide number of population, and in terms of the capacity in terms of human resource for health, and even financially, it means we are reaching out to so many people in this entire region of Uasin Gishu County, Karen River. We give medication free of charge for those who are really in need, after of course assessing through the social work department to see their capability to get the medication financially, and we always help them. We have a good number of them. We started so many years back, and they're now grown ups. Some are children then, and we're still supporting them to this time.
Visit our website www.hopemattersintl.org or email us on voh@hopemattersintl.org. You can also call us on 0798 854 344. 0798 854 344. Get professional Medicare at Village of Hope Level 4 Hospital, located in Musembe on Eldoret-Webuye Highway, a faith-based and community-based healthcare institution serving thousands of residents in this region.
My name is Nixon Rono. I am the CEO. They say a journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step, and Village of Hope Hospital and entirely Matters International has had a very long and great journey since inception until now. Village of Hope Hospital started as a clinic, and it's now a big hospital, a level 4 hospital, and we thank God for each and every opportunity to serve the community. As Village of Hope Hospital, we serve 3 counties. Village of Hope Hospital borders Kakamega County, Uasin Gishu County, and Nandi County.
CEO show. Remember, our guest tonight is Mr. Nixon Rono, who is the CEO of Hope Matters International. And remember, we are coming live to you on Facebook, YouTube, and also we are coming live on TikTok. Please don't hesitate to share this podcast for somebody to know that you're watching. But before even we proceed, we can just respond to some of the viewers who are coming in very fast and furious. We have a Kimurgor Bitok who is saying clarity check, sound check, the conversation is very natural. We also have Blast Berry who is saying keep it up, the good job. We have Princess Mashi who is saying that bravo, good job. We also have Nancy Chumba who is saying that great always and very inspiring. Then Michael Kosgeo is saying he's watching from the city. Hapa amesema Siri, I don't know. And then also we have Steven Kimtai who is saying keep up Mr. CEO, watching from Mombasa. And then also we have Edwin Gisire who is saying good work, brother. Daisy who is saying good work, great job. Judith Jones who is saying kudos, watching live from Nairobi. And then Naila Chelagat is saying it is a great show. Pauline Ruto is watching, Isaac is watching, Nick is watching, and also Walter is watching. And also Flow Farm Healthcare Limited. Also on our YouTube page, make sure that you are part of this conversation for us to know where you're watching from. I'll be reading shortly the comments on YouTube, and also to tell you who is watching and what they are saying. Now, Mr. Nixon, we're talking now about healthcare management system. How important is it in an institution, and for this matter, in an hospital?
Yeah, HMIs is a key thing in any hospital. If you get to some hospitals working without a system, it's a real challenge, especially in stock management from pharmacy and even dispensing. So it's a real challenge if you don't have a good system.
Okay.
And making it even worse at some point is so many systems are not working. You get someone, a vendor getting a system during the demonstration or during the trials, as they want to set to the system. You see it working perfectly, but now the ground is a totally different thing.
Okay.
But now the good systems, such hospitals like level 6 and 5, they can afford to have a very nice system.
Okay.
I think so many public hospitals from the level 6 or 5 have very nice systems.
Okay.
But for us, at times we struggle because we tend to have very cheap. Now making having stock management is a real problem.
Okay.
In fact, ours, we are trying to see if we can change what we are using currently, because we do at times stock taking. The next day you get some other totally different figures in the system.
Okay.
So it's a real challenge.
But now we've seen hospitals that have invested huge amount of money to come to HMIS, and after some times, then they don't meet the expectations in terms of reporting and also in management. What are some of the factors that should be considered? Having knowledge in the same, what are some of the factors that any other hospitals, because you find that there are some hospitals that will use a cheaper, quote unquote, a low price kind of system, but it operates well. But what do you think are some of the factors that should be considered by these hospitals when procuring a good HMIS?
You know, some of them are brokers. They don't own the system. Some get from maybe abroad, try to modify to fit to suit what we have in Kenya.
Okay.
And at times it's a challenge. But if you get the real developers here in Kenya, whom they can give you even the rights of ownership, you can redesign to suit what you want with the hospital setup. It's a good thing. But now if you have to rely on them, because some of this system they can control. They can see whatever you are doing. So at times, if you get a good system, especially if the developers are local, and they can give you the rights to own the system, then you can modify your work whatever way you want.
Okay, and some are even susceptible to fraud, because the system has never been, because it is as good as the operator, but also it has been an avenue for fraud in most institutions. What do you think it's lacking, and where is now the miss? Because sometimes you tend to trust these systems, but they end up becoming a good avenue for fraud in organizations.
Now it comes to the same developers, because if there are no securities in any system, even you have seen some banks being hacked. So security is key. And if the software has maybe security detectors for in case of any malfunction in the system, you can get maybe notification. So, but now having a system with such features could be very expensive. Yeah.
Okay. Now, comparing now, as we head to a different topic for that matter, but now comparing now public hospitals and now private hospitals, there is always a big miss between the two. Where do you think we go wrong? Because for public hospitals, it should be the key thing in terms of healthcare, whereby Kenyans and even citizens can fully depend on. But now the trust and faith in our public hospitals is shying away. People are now trusting and even believing more on private hospitals. Where do you think we are doing and we are going wrong in terms of public, in our public hospitals?
It starts with the governance. And in management, there's governance. It's not that we have people who are short of knowledge or ideas in the public sector. They are. But now the systems are not working. The same thing I told you, some people frustrate systems to their own benefit. So in terms of even the major challenge in these public hospitals, I think are resources in terms of human resource and even supplies. Some even don't get good or adequate supplies. So what happens if you get patients as a doctor, you don't have the surgical sets, you don't have anything to use to operate that patient. The best thing you can do is to refer. So the main challenge is supplies and adequate human resource, and of course delayed payments on salaries. You get some counties delayed to up to 3 months. How do you expect a doctor to work without pay for 3 months? And one other challenge which is really hitting on so many counties are the decision makers. The policy or maybe decision makers are not people who understand what is needed at the facility. They can buy a machine. So many machines in these public hospitals are lying idle because they were procured and just dumped. Money is paid, zinawekwa zinakuja hapo zinalala because even the people who are there are not trained. Because these machines every other time they keep changing with new technologies. If you are a radiographer, you get a machine. If you have been using an X-ray, which is old model, when you get a new one, you get stuck. So the main challenge is with supplies and the right process of getting the supplies, because they get equipments, the servicing, or even like lab machines. You get the machines, there are no reagents for those machines. They lie idle, zinakufa tu.
Okay.
So I think those are the main challenges in the
And
public
another
sector.
challenge that I kept on understanding and also listening that the complaint arises most is you find that most of the seasoned doctors that are expected to be in our public hospital, they tend to operate most on their private clinics and what have you. And sometimes you find that they compromise on giving their best when it comes to the public hospitals. And most of the time they spend on their private clinics. How do you think this can be controlled to ensure that we maximize on public healthcare?
It's hard to control, but if the systems are working in a public hospital, what happens if you are a doctor in an hospital, in a public hospital, then you see where it starts is from what you have at the facility. You want a patient to be seen, maybe you want a CT scan or even a surgery, and you don't have the right equipment to use. What do you do? And yet you are supposed to support the client or to give service, you refer. So you end up saying, now I'm a doctor, I don't have what is needed here. Why don't I have another clinic where I can refer and do the same surgeries that have been in this public if we had everything. But now, according to, I don't see any problem in them working in private hospitals because they have a rota. If a doctor, if I'm supposed to be at the hospital, a public hospital from 8, most of them work in shifts. You might be in your own private hospital in the morning, and in the afternoon you are in the public hospital.
Okay.
So I know there was some discussion in some counties where they were given warning letters that you don't have to work in a private hospital. But now those doctors, we need them in our private hospitals. Yes, we depend on the same doctors. He's operating in a public hospital, and maybe at night he should be maybe in our facilities to help.
And probably you're giving them good perks.
Of course, that happens.
Okay. Now, talking now about the public and what have you, now we need to see now on the interest of the government and also the role that the government plays. And when we talk about now the government, there is now a bone of contention. We still have a push and pull when now it comes to implementing of the new policy of healthcare, that is the SHA, that is Social Health Authority, and also the SHIF, Social Health Insurance Fund. Now, comparing being now in the healthcare system, people, we have citizens and the locals who are complaining, say better turudishiwe ile NHIF. Is it because people fear change, or is it now comparing the two? What do you think is the benefit that comes with now the new?
For us in this healthcare, we are still trying to understand, as just as anyone else. But now, where I saw there was a challenge is now the implementers who are now the employees of that NHIF. In fact, I think they were to get new people to work for the SHA. But now, those who are have the real experience in the insurance sector were not involved. So many of them, even you would ask some questions, even the managers at the branches, they were not even able to answer because they were not involved from the beginning of the whole process. So if the implementers were not involved, there's an association of private hospitals. They were not involved. So what happens? Implementing such a, it might have been a good, or it might be a good insurance cover, but now that involvement and making the main stakeholders understand, it would have been even better. Because right now we have been doing online training, or you get to train yourself and see what works, what will not work. But now if there was a good strategy, starting with the main stakeholders, there's an association of private hospitals. They should have given the input on this SHA thing. And even now, the stakeholders who are the employees of that SHA. Yes.
Now paint us the picture now in terms of implementation, because from 1st October it was fully operational, and we saw a lot of people complaining that they are coming and they are being told that they can't use NHIF completely, which is no longer in use. And now paint us the real picture on the ground. Patients are coming. Are they? Have people embraced SHA? Are they part of SHA? And do you offer services now in the service?
We still have a challenge, but some other hospitals are using it, but for only surgeries, like surgical cases, because for that you do pre-auth for approval. For our hospital, it's level 4, and according to the SHA protocols, we should get maybe referrals from the level 3 and 2. And now, if you get walk-ins, you are paid as level 2 and 3, of which now that's where some hospitals would not want to have such a deal. So it's still a challenge, because for us we have the portal working, but now it reaches a point where we cannot do the claiming in the system. So we are still trying to understand how if it will work. But what I can see at times in this new SHA, if implementation was done correctly, with training, proper training, because there is no physical training, it has been online, and it's now the management of the hospital, to try get those links for training and understand the packages in the system. Yeah, some hospitals didn't even sign the contract. Yeah.
Now, also talking about now, I believe you still have some amount owing to NHIF.
Yeah.
Now, how far is the process? Do you think there is, or you are still in a push and pull scenario? And what is the way forward?
We are waiting. Yes, and I don't know how long we would wait, but we're still waiting for them to clear the monies they owe to us. Yes.
Okay.
Maybe I expected maybe before this transitioning, they would have cleared maybe the balances for all the hospitals before moving to the new SHA.
The new scheme. But now, do you think since 1st of October, did they stop, or they are still making some plans in terms of payment, or you've never received anything from the amounts outstanding?
They come in bits. in small amounts. So you cannot tell when you will expect maybe a good amount.
Okay.
So they get us in bits.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, this is a tough one, but let me ask you. Mr. Nixon, assuming today you are given that portfolio to run to be the CS of health, what do you think you can do differently that is not being done?
I know it's a very hot seat, by the way. It's not easy because they usually say there are cartels. Of course, there are so many people interested in running the healthcare because it has money, especially in supplies and everything. But now, with this new scheme, I think the best thing for the CS was to go back to the drawing board and involve everyone, like the doctors or those private associations, private hospital associations, and now the new staff, because before full implementation of SHA, some were even told they'll be fired or they'll get new people to work for the SHA. So that transitioning was not done in a good way. Some are working. They were given, I think, two options to either get a lump sum money to go home as a pack, or remain and wait to be posted to other government entities, of which I don't think it has happened. But now the best thing was to go back, involve them, like assure them that they'll work, because probably if there were failures in the NHIF scheme, I know there were frauds done by some other hospitals. No, if they build or have a good system, of course, it would have worked even maybe better than what is coming. So the best thing was to involve maybe the employees who are the NHIF employees.
Which, if there was a problem with the NHIV, definitely
Yes,
it's being
they
transferred.
know. Of course, they know where the challenges were. If you would call any of them, they know where the challenges were. And if there were money being taken away, they'll tell you, hapa ndo mahali inakuliwa. They know. Yes. So involving them and maybe upgrading what they have to the new system, you got to see the amounts used to acquire the system. It's in billions of money. So I think maybe the previous one would have been just improved, and it would have worked even better. So the challenge now is the human resource, especially with the new SHA, because even the support. Whenever you get a system like the HMIs we are talking about, you get support even up to 6 months or 1 year. Like you have someone you can call, nimekwama hapa, nimejaribu kudischarge patient, nimeshindwa, then you get support. For this SHA, you don't have someone to call. Like there is no contact person directly that you can get someone and call, telling him maybe you're stuck somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now going back now to your organization, from where you sit, where do you see the hospital? Where is your vision from where you, 5 years later, where do you want to take the hospital?
First, I'm praying that this SHA works, because that's why we depend on for payment of salaries and even making, coming up with new infrastructure or any equipment. But I see that hospital being a level 5 in the next few years. And level 5 means more human resource and more or better services. We have a structure which is told right now, which was supposed to have even the ICU, HD, and the surgical wards, 2 theaters, a very big one. So if those are complete, and we have space, have a college, a school to train nurses or even the clinicians. So I see in the next 5, on a minimum 5 years, if we are stable, especially financially, that hospital will be a level 5.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
That is
possible
what
and
I'm
it's
saying.
doable.
When we call you here after the
Yes,
after
yes,
5 years, we'll be
unless
speaking to a CEO or
unless things change.
unless things change.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I'm also, as the position that you have, I'm sure you're very busy, because also getting in touch with you sometimes comes because you run a lot of things, because running an hospital is quite an hectic job. But now I want to understand about work-life balance. How do you balance now the family and now being in charge of such an hospital? Work-life balance, it's a critical aspect.
It's true, but they just have to at times get used to, because you get to your house in the evening and you still have some online meetings maybe, or you wake up very early, get home late. But mostly for me, I handle so many. Even at night, you get calls, the day, night. But for me, especially Sundays, it's purely for family. Yes, my phone will be on. I can respond to any call, but I'm with family every time, every Sunday, and even part of Saturday at times. But I at times on Saturday get to the office, but purely Sundays, it's family thing.
Okay. But now, the guys to say, how can you advise somebody? Now, we have these workaholics CEOs and also workaholics people. And people are making fun, especially the other day with the Reggie issue. And they were saying that ultimately you'll go back to family. What can you say about this? Not talking definitely about Reggie, but definitely.
Yes, yes. I think it depends with where you're working. I know some people don't even take leave because of where maybe the working conditions or the
Or they are married to their job, they father their job.
Yes.
Yeah.
But if you're working for the right company, maybe, and they see your hard work, of course, there will be maybe compensation for that. Some CEOs, if they go home, the organization will fail. But now it's for the managers also to mentor maybe the juniors, so that if you're not in office, you can have someone who can run the facility. But now there's always a threat, especially in this corporate world. You get even a volunteer na atakutoa kwa ofisi because
He might even come to outshine you.
Yeah, they'll outsmart you. But it's good that managers even have their own free time. That apart from the hard work and determination to see the company grow, you need to have your own good time, especially with family. This is the person you talked about. You saw the only people he had was the family. So it's a lesson to everyone that we need to have family close to us, even in terms of if you get fired today, the only people that would welcome you back is your family.
Okay.
But if you have been to work, you don't have time for your family and even the parents, it will be a problem. The only point of falling back is the family.
Okay.
Yeah.
There is somebody, a friend of mine once told me that when you get employed, you need to prepare immediately for your retirement and probably exit or anything. But just being ambitious for today you have the job, probably tomorrow you might not have the job. But do you think you buy the same school of thought?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What do you do? What are you doing with regard to the same?
No, of course, trying to invest, especially so that if you're told there's no job tomorrow, you have somewhere to run to. You have your own businesses to run. Or for me personally, I decided to empower my wife to do business, and I remain in the corporate.
Okay.
Yes, my wife is doing so many other, even odd jobs at times.
Okay.
From the experience we had in Nairobi, we decided to work. She sells the scrap metals right now, buying and selling. She has some outlets. She does everything.
Okay.
So I decided to empower her in terms of business, so that if somewhere else I have a fallback, I'll come run some scrap metals in the in the shop.
Okay, but now some men will always think that when you empower your wife, at some point they will outpower you. But
But
now
of course, you know your wife. Yes.
Okay.
If you, unless you don't know your wife, because of course some, if they okay, financially, they tend to overpower you in terms of even decision making.
Okay.
But of course, as a man, you cannot allow to reach that point. Even the business they run, you are in control. You are the man of the house, unless now you separate so that they run their own business and you run your own business.
Okay.
Yes.
But that's how you retain your control.
Of course, the control remains, and you can foresee some changes. If you foresee something changing, then you now need to see a way you can plan.
But at the end of the day, it's important to have them in the picture
Yeah.
and grow your wealth together.
Yes.
Now, being a salaried person, do you have, because there is always different rules when it comes to salary. Some will say that you save 30%, you invest 20, you pay your bills with 30 and what have you. Do you think you have a rule when it comes to...
For me, I don't have a rule. Yes, I might decide this month I'm saving a certain amount or I'm buying something. I don't have.
What is it that informs your financial decisions?
The need. If there's a need, then I know I'm not purely an accountant. If you had an accountant, he or she would give you the percentages. But for me, I go on need basis. Leo unaweza ambiwa kuna ng'ombe nyumbani unataka kununua. You had not planned for that. And if you have the money, you just buy it.
Okay.
Yes, so for me, on need basis, and what at that point, the priority.
The priority, yes. Okay, now, how does your typical day look like?
It depends. Like for today, I wake up at 6. Of course, I stay in the village. At times go for a morning run around 5 kilometers. Kuna siku nilikuwa nimezoea sana nikaona nimekonda. The lady in the house complained and I had to come
down.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm in the office by latest 8. So between 7:30 and 8 I'm in the office.
Okay.
Of course, the first thing is to check any emails. After 8, after me cleaning is done at the hospital, I go around to ensure everything is in order. Then after that, probably get some guests who are coming in. But like for this week, I think it's a totally different one. Tomorrow we are having a training in town from Wednesday, tomorrow to Friday. So it's and there needs like the schedule changes every time. Yeah.
Okay. Now, talking about, because our time is much spent, I think I'll read some comments that are coming in. Then we'll have the last segment of the show, and then we will be closing down. We have viewers who are still coming in, but just to read a few, we have Mercy Rono, Mercy Rono Cheru, who is saying, "Great job, Mr. CEO. Proud of you and your hard work. As your family, we are happy." That is, and then we also
That's
have,
my wife.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Now in charge of scrap metals. Mercy Rono, keep doing what you're doing. I think in the near future we'll be having you to tell us about scrap metal business. I think it's a lucrative kind of business. People are making good. I think your wife will be coming in the near future to tell us about the same business. Yeah. Also, we have Mr. Nixon Teta, who is CEO at the county. Thank you, sir. We are looking forward to have you in the near future here. We also have Chelagat Moren, who is saying, may God continue blessing you. Great job. And then also we have Flow Farm Healthcare Limited. I think you know him. Cornelius. It's saying leadership in action. Good job, sir. Eddie Kim is watching. Sim Elvis.
I think Flow Farm, they have really partnered with us, and they have the growth of that facilities with them.
Okay.
Yeah. Flow Farm has been a great partner.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's a good guy. Yes. He's a gentleman.
If the times in the struggles of financial problems, they even support in terms of giving supplies on credit.
Okay.
So they have been good to us.
Wow. Flow Farm, keep doing what you're doing. Think in the near future also we are going to have you in this particular seat to tell us your journey, especially I've seen you grow. Also we have this is Masi Gitonga, who is also watching. We have Gilbert Samoy will say, following live from Kapchemuge. inspirational. Also, we have Stephen Cheruiyot who is watching. Stephen Cheruiyot is saying, this is Honorable Stephen Cheruiyot who is saying, good job, bro. This is my MCA, my
Oh, okay.
and he's also the majority leader in Elgeyo Marakwet County. Thank you, sir, for watching tonight. And also we have Tarus Kipchumba is watching, Cornelius is watching, Julia Kiberut who is watching, then Brian Kipchumba is saying that amazing show, and then Steve is watching, and a lot of people are watching. MCA, I cannot finish reading them out. And then also we have Gilbert Samoy saying, personally, I'm moved with the family part. The fact that young CEO is prioritizing family is something to look it up. I think that's a good one. And also we have MC Edu Mbusa who is saying good work, sir. And also we have Mercy Cheruto who is saying I'm happy to be the first one here. That is now on YouTube. He's saying that I'm happy to be the first one here watching from Kipkaren, Mr. CEO Nixon Rono, and many of them that are still coming in. Mr. Nixon Rono, now on your parting shot, what do you think is your parting shot? Because this is a shot that always look forward to inspire the young generation when it's come to running business and also running different positions in an organization. And also people look forward to be like you in the near future, because there are people who are working under you, there are people who are working with you, and there are people who are inspired by you, and especially our viewers tonight. What do you think is your parting shot to them when it comes now to life as a whole? And now from a rider to a CEO.
First and foremost, thank you for having me today here.
Yes.
I'm really grateful. And for the viewers, thank you for being there for this show and listening to us. Life is a journey. And I always ask if someone is someone ready for even success, because some positions you might get a position but you're not ready to have that office. The seat will become very hot because you're not ready. But now in preparation for even success, you have to be ready. And of course on the other side, if it flips on the other side, you have to be ready to face even a failure. So how do you come up when you fail? So we have to have that balance. You expect maybe at times the worst times to be there, and even successes to be there. And if you go that way of success, then you should be ready to have that position and to do it better, even better than maybe the person who was there before. So for me, I believe in hard work and even majorly on trust, that you have to gain trust, and it's earned, not you don't force someone to trust you. Yes. So I want to also thank our supporters, especially who have supported Village of Hope Hospital. We have had so many programs. We have had a school program where we support some students in school. We have had a medical scheme where we support those who are not able to pay their bills. We treat them for free. Some even were supported for some surgeries. And it's courtesy of the generous donations we get from the US. So if I want to really thank our donors and supporters, and even the Kenyan board and the US board, and my colleagues at Village of Hope Hospital. They are doing a great job. You should be there to see how the hospital is. Definitely. I always say it's an Aga Khan hospital in the village.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
So thank you so much. I think that's all I had.
Okay. Now, just giving the direction where you located and
okay.
Yeah.
Village of Hope Hospital is in Kipkaren River, near Musembe Market, on your way to Webuye. That's Eldoret Webuye Road. It's around 400 meters from the highway, the main highway. Yeah, and we have a wide range of services. We do surgeries. We have dental. We have the eye unit, radiology, and even the last part of the mortuary. It's a very good one, with modern machines or the freezers, and our rates are much fair, with a consultation fee of 100.
Wow.
Yes, which hospital in town can you consult a doctor with a 100 bob?
Okay.
That's because we are faith-based and an NGO, and we give service to the community. That's the dream of the founders, that they wanted to really support. That's why the hospital is in the village. If it was purely for business, it would have been in town. Yeah.
Okay.
So we give service, and we say service to humanity.
Service to God.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so
I
much.
think the most important thing that people should remember is the X-ray that you have.
Yeah, the X-ray. You should come and see. I remember we brought it to the county headquarters here for the governor to see it, and he was really happy to see the machine.
Okay.
Even in the village, Kipchoge Eliud was there. He has seen the machine, and we were happy to see him. Happy to see the machine.
Okay.
Yes. So it's a machine with a new technology, and it's a portable one. You can move. It can take, if counties can get such a machine, it can be in Huruma this weekend, and the next weekend it's in Tarbo sub-county hospital. It can move, and within seconds you get the images.
Okay.
It doesn't take time.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir, for coming through to the show. And
Thank
I
you
think
so
it's been very informative and very inspirational. I think you can see from the comments, and we are really humbled to have you tonight.
Thank you
Looking
so much.
forward to have this conversation next time, and also I'll pay you a visit and see the X-ray.
Yeah,
That's
please
very
come.
important.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That was the show, and our guest tonight was Mr. Nixon Rono, who is the CEO of I'm now confused between the village.
Hope Matters International.
Hope Matters and Village
Yes, Hope
Hospital.
Matters.
Now, Hope Matters International, and it has been one of the very inspiring sessions, especially people who have interest in the healthcare sector. And there's one man who was grown from being a motorcycle rider back in Nairobi, and now he is the CEO. That is always the inspiration that we have. What is the journey that you are in? Don't give up. Keep going. Climb that ladder. One day, one time, you'll be where you wish to be and where you desire. But what is very important that has come out of our guest night is hard work and determination never fails. Keep working hard. Remember, this is a show that always comes to you every Tuesday from 7:30 to 9. Remember, next week we are not going to fail, but you are going to have another amazing episode. And remember, next week we are going to have one amazing young person as the curtain raiser of the next show. Remember the young man who just graduated for grade 1. This is a photo that has gone viral. And as the CEO show, we always look forward to bring such awesome souls to the show to tell them that in the near future, they will be the next CEO. You can't afford to miss the next episode and see this amazing boy who has captured attention across the nation. Please ensure that you look forward to that particular episode. And also the guest that will be coming forward next week will be one amazing guest who will be sharing his experience in what he does, and he does best. Until next time, I was your host, Dan. May you have a good night and God bless.
Get professional Medicare at Village of Hope Level 4 Hospital, located in Musembe on Eldoret Webuye Highway, a faith-based and community-based healthcare institution serving thousands of residents in this region.
My name is Nixon Rono. I am the CEO. They say a journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step, and Village of Hope Hospital and entirely Matters International has had a very long and great journey since inception until now. Village of Hope Hospital started as a clinic, and it's now a big hospital, a level 4 hospital, and we thank God for each and every opportunity to serve the community. As Village of Hope Hospital, we serve 3 counties. Village of Hope Hospital borders Kakamega County, Uasin Gishu County, and Nandi County, but basically in Uasin Gishu County, but the farthest end of Uasin Gishu County. So we serve a huge area in terms of counties, the farthest end of Kakamega County, Nandi County, and Uasin Gishu County. A few years ago, we are attending to a very minimal number of this population of Karen. Our outpatient department was seeing about a maximum of 5 patients, but nowadays we see up to even 100 a day. To see the Village of Hope Hospital serving a good number of population. Currently in Kenya, or even around the world, healthcare is very expensive, and so we aspire to give a very affordable healthcare to everyone that everyone can afford. And maybe in the next few years, we might see ourselves being level 5. That's a level that means a lot of expertise and human resource for health, and even the equipment. So it means we'll cover a wide area of this population. So it means in terms of our capacity to give medication to a wide number of population, and in terms of the capacity in terms of human resource for health, and even financially, it means we are reaching out to so many people in this entire region of Uasin Gishu County, Karen River. We give medication free of charge for those who are really in need, after of course assessing through the social work department to see their capability to get the medication financially, and we always help them. We have a good number of them. We started so many years back, and they are now grown-ups. Some are children then, and we are still supporting them to this time.
Visit our website www.hopemattersintl.org or email us on voh@hopemattersintl.org. You can also call us on 0798 854 344. 0798 854 344. Get professional Medicare.
Business Minds, pioneering and inspiring entrepreneurs. Creative talks, CEO insights, success stories, value markets, and financial education. This is the CEO Show. Hosted by Dan. Business Minds, pioneering and inspiring entrepreneurs. Creative talks, CEO insights, success stories, value markets, and financial education. This is the CEO Show. Hosted